Hi everyone, I'm Rita Muradova, a personal stylist and fashion consultant from Kyiv, Ukraine. And actually today's video is a very good one. I absolutely love favorites videos, and I know they're kind of outdated and they're kind of like 2020-ish style, but I absolutely love them and still watch them on every channel I know, because this is something that's very kind of unusual for those channels, that's very personal, that's something that people love, that's something that people share, etc, etc. So I decided to share this favorites video on this channel, so specifically on this English speaking channel, even though usually I have my yearly favorites video on my Ukrainian channel, but here it is. And I think it would be a good change up of theme and vibe on this channel for this video, and I have a lot to share actually, because I've had a lot of very cool things happening to me, seeing very cool things, reading amazing books, reading amazing quotes, trying amazing products, etc, etc, over the course of this year. Even though this year was like an absolute hell of a year for me personally, for all Ukrainians, still I had some fun. I've tried some things that I liked and I had some amazing moments, so I decided to share them here on this channel in order to get just a bit more personal here, because I feel like the vibe of this channel up to this point is a bit more professional, and I'm not sure that if people who happen to come to this channel and the first thing they see is like a fashion video, etc, etc, do necessarily feel my personal vibe and who I am, etc, etc. So this is the point of this video, this is the reason I'm making it, and without further ado, let's just get started. So this is basically like a yearly favorite. So this is a very massive selection of things I loved from this year, and those are my favorite things of this year. So in no specific order, let's just start with my favorite perfume. And for those who know me, and for those who come here to this channel from my Ukrainian channel, which is the main channel I started from, which has like up to 500,000 followers at this point, so they definitely do know what kind of perfume I'm talking about. And for those of you who do not know me, this is my absolute favorite perfume. This is a perfume by Glossier. This is an American brand, and they only have this specific perfume. This is the only one they have. This is called You. So basically, You is the name of the perfume. And what's so special about this, it doesn't have necessarily like a very prominent scent in and of itself, but when you spray it on you, it actually kind of creates like a specific blend with your bodily scent, even though that sounds kind of icky. And there it creates kind of your personal scent, which is not hugely noticeable, but when it is, it smells really nice. And this is the perfume I've been wearing for the last 5 years. And the thing is, I think 5 years. The thing is, I absolutely hate perfumes, and most of the time I'm really like actually physically sick of wearing the perfume. I get really nauseous, like and it doesn't matter what kind of perfume I'm using. I've tried all of them basically, and this is the only one that doesn't make me sick. And I've purchased the first one in their New York store. It was 5 years ago, so it was like their crazily designed flagship store in New York, and it was a cool experience as well. And I've tried it in there, and I was like, that smells really nice and really subtle. So I tried this on, and from then on, this was the only, and still is the only perfume I use. And actually what's really cool, first of all, I've gifted this perfume to like mostly, like I think up to this point, all of my friends, and this is their favorite perfume at the moment as well now. And this is the perfume that gets you compliments everywhere you go. First of all, you do not necessarily notice this scent on yourself. You kind of get used to it, so I don't necessarily feel it on me, but other people do, and they compliment me a lot. And not only people I'm familiar with, but just like random people. Even like when I go into a taxi, the taxi driver would be like, "Oh, you smell really nice." And I was like, yes, this is it, this is the perfume. And this is actually not only happening to me, but each and every person that gets this perfume and uses it. Really, this is the best perfume, honestly, that I've tried in my life. And it's so, for perfumes, what usually happens is people kind of divide them up to different seasons. So there's like something for autumn, something more warm for winter, etc, etc. This is the perfume I use all year round, and I feel like it fits each and every season perfectly. So at this moment, I feel like this feels like an advertisement, but this is not, I promise you. It's just, I'm so in love with this one. I think this is my, I don't know, maybe like 10th 9th, 11th bottle, and this is almost finished. And I usually stock up really well because they don't sell Glossier here in Ukraine. So I usually buy these in bulk with the help of some buyers that buy them, purchase them from United States. So this is just amazing. Let's just finish up with this one and keep going. And the next thing I'll talk about is a skincare item, and I'll try and be kind of more like short about this. So the only skincare item I feel like was discovered by me specifically this year is this beautiful, beautiful moisturizer by a Swiss brand, which was actually founded by a Ukrainian woman. And this one is called INSTYTUTUM, and this is a C-Illuminating 3D moisturizer. So for those of you who don't know about the brand, this is a very beautiful, very natural, very cool, and actually working skincare brand for you. And I love a lot of their things, but this one in particular, I discovered this one I think like a month ago. What's so cool about this one, so if you know, there's a brand called Tilbury, I think you definitely know about this one, and they have this like thing which is basically a mix of a primer and then like a highlighter in a liquid form called the Hollywood primer or something. So this is, to me, what that would be mixed with a moisturizer. This is an amazing base. First of all, it moisturizes so well, especially for winter, because for winter I do love my like rich moisturizers because you get drier much quicker and faster. And second of all, this is such a good base for makeup because it gives this like very lustrous but subtle shine to your face and your skin. It moisturizes it really well. It preps your skin so well for the makeup, and it looks so, so beautiful. So I definitely do recommend this one. If there's one thing I recommend trying from their brand at the moment, specifically during the winter, this is this one. And if I don't forget, I will leave the link below for this specific product because it's just so cool. And also in terms of their pricing, their price point is amazing and their products are actually working. So you get a very good use out of the money that you pay for this thing. And this is just so, so, so cool. And if you want to try some of their things, and if you're not sure, they have this like variety pack of miniature things, including this moisturizer, and they have their peel, they have their cleanser, etc., etc. So you can try their things and make sure that they work for you, and then end up purchasing this one. And I'm pretty sure you will end up purchasing this one because it is so, so unique, and I have never tried something like this. So this is it for the skincare. This is the only item actually that I tried that was something different this year as opposed to previous years. And in terms of makeup, there's two things I absolutely loved. One of the things I've mentioned on my Ukrainian channel previously, this Superstar product actually. This is a pencil. This is a lip pencil by Tilbury, which I absolutely love. And this is called Pillow Talk. I think this is their bestseller, and I feel like this is something they're known for, and people discover Tilbury because of this Pillow Talk bestseller lip liner. This is so, so cool. To me, this is basically my lip color, but just a bit deeper and better, and it holds so well, and it contours your lips amazingly, and it makes them look really plump. And I actually just contour them, and then I use their lipstick in the shade Pillow Talk. So basically I get this combo, which looks, especially for like a like camera setting, especially for shooting, it looks so, so, so natural. And in real life it looks really natural because I'm not very into like very like dark and crazy lip colors. I usually either wear just like lip balm or this thing, nothing else. So this is just so cool. And I feel like at this point, beforehand, they had only this shade for Pillow Talk, but because, you know, people have different tones and shades to their skin tone, I feel like they've developed a couple of Pillow Talks in deeper and lighter shades. So at this point, I feel like they have Pillow Talks for everyone, and I definitely do suggest trying this one because this is gold. This is so, so cool. And in terms of makeup, there's the second thing I absolutely love and I've traveled with for the last year. This is a palette by Hourglass. This is an amazing palette that combines a powdered, kind of a powdered powder slash a bit of a highlighter. This is something they're famous for. This is their baked collection. Then they have two beautiful blushes, and I use the top one. And then they have a highlighter, which is really, really solid and beautiful, and their bronzer, which I absolutely love. And I use their bronzer on my eyes, on my face, etc., etc. It looks so natural, and I love these palettes because they're so useful. Because when you travel, I don't necessarily want to like have a lot of things, makeup things with me. I travel very lightly in terms of makeup, so this is just very compact, beautiful, and it works so well for a lot of people. They have different shades of this palette, and also this is like 1 year old, and it basically looks like new, so it uses really, really well. It's like just so cool, and also looks really beautiful. It looks really nice as a present, and I feel like if you're thinking of giving someone a makeup present, this would definitely be a candidate because it's so like precise, beautiful, neat, and actually useful for someone's makeup, and it works for, I think, almost everyone. And this is it for my makeup favorites, even though I could go on and on, because I love, actually, at this point, I love putting on makeup, even though it took me a lot of years to actually figure out how to do my makeup. And I'm not sure if that's the case with everyone, and let me know in the comments below if it is, because I feel like I definitely would be able to do someone's makeup, because from a like viewer standpoint, I know what would look good on them. But from my personal standpoint, when I looked at my face, I did not necessarily know how to do my personal makeup, because you just like, you keep looking at yourself, and you look at yourself each and every day for the last like 32 years I've been looking at myself. So at this point, you're so used to your own facial features, you're not necessarily sure how to work them in terms of makeup. So that's what it is with me. And the next thing I'll talk about is definitely a bag favorite of this year, and I don't think this is going to be a surprise for anyone, but this is my bag favorite of the year, and it's pretty heavy because it has my laptop in it and a lot of stuff. Actually, this is a vintage Hermes Kelly 35 in a box leather, gold hardware. This is a bag that's, I feel like, 4 or 5 years old at its point, and I bought this from a vintage buyer 5 years ago, and this is one of my favorite bags overall because it's just so unique. It fits absolutely everything, and also surprisingly it fits my laptop, which is a 13-inch MacBook Pro, perfectly, and it fits absolutely everything you need. I feel like it could fit my like ballet flats if I wanted to. It fits makeup, everything, and it looks so chic. And because of its size, and because of the fact that it's big and it's so like structured, it works with everything in your wardrobe. So just think sweatpants look, this could look very good with them. Think a skirt, think a pantsuit, whatever it is, this is going to work with each and every item in your closet. And also this would definitely work for each and every season of the year. So this works for summer, this works for winter. It's an absolutely perfect bag. And in my mind, I feel like this is a better investment than a Birkin for people who love to have a compact but a structured bag, because Birkin doesn't have a shoulder handle, therefore it's not that comfortable in terms of carrying a lot of stuff with you, as opposed to this one when I can wear it on my shoulder and it's much more comfortable, so I can go around much more. So this is an absolutely beautiful bag, and also this is a favorite bag of this year for me because I've been going to the office much more and having shootings and a lot of stuff, and I've been carrying my laptop so much more, and therefore I had to pick the bag that I was using almost like, I wouldn't say each and every day, but most days of the at least like last months, and this is definitely it. And it still looks not necessarily brand new because I had a lot of scratches over here, but that's the way I like my bags. I like their kind of worn in look. But this is definitely a bag that makes me happy, the one that works with each and every item in my wardrobe, and also the one that never gets old. You know, it's out of a trend because it's so timeless. And if you're thinking of an investment piece in terms of your bag wardrobe, definitely, if you're thinking of a higher price and if it, like luxury market, definitely consider this one, because this is just one of the best bags I own, honestly. And I definitely do recommend going for a vintage one because their quality is just top notch. So this is it for the bag selection. I only selected one because then we could end up having like an hour-long video, and I'm pretty sure at this point it's like half an hour already, so let's just make it quicker. The next thing I'll talk about is my shoe favorites, and surprisingly, these two babies are the ones that made the cut because they're so cool and unique. These are cowboy boots by Dior. They were purchased, I feel like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I've been wearing them, I feel like non-stop ever since, and even so much more this year. I absolutely love cowboy boots because they're so unusual, they're so unique, they have their character. Therefore, in a look, even though your look could be very basic and consists, like, for example, of like very basic pieces, these two would make your look more interesting and make your outfit more completed because they're so unique and have their character. And I love their like mannish, like masculine touch that they have. I love the pattern and I love the quality, and I absolutely just love cowboy boots because they have this masculinity that could go really well in a very otherwise feminine look. And still, these would work, for example, with a pantsuit, with a skirt, with sweatpants, just like Princess Diana wore, etc., etc. So they're actually very versatile, even though at first glance you wouldn't say so. So in terms of books, actually this year was not surprisingly though, because we have so much going on in this year in 2022, and Russia started a war in Ukraine. So my book choices are kind of definitely different this year, because previously I used to go for more like drama-like books, and this year, especially after the war started, I feel like I've branched out into the previously unknown, undeveloped territory of women's romance, and I actually surprisingly absolutely loved it. So the one author I would definitely recommend to you is Colleen Hoover, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about her at this point because I've seen her books everywhere. So for example, the first 7 months of the war that Russia started in Ukraine, when it started on the 24th of February 2022, my husband and I, we were in Portugal. And then we stayed in Portugal for the next 7 months. So during those 7 months, we've been in Porto, we've been to Lisbon, and I've seen a lot of like travelers, I've seen a lot of tourists having these books and reading these books outside. So I know she's very popular. I know she became really popular this year and the year before. And I absolutely love her books. I love the way she writes. I love her language. I love the way she talks to the reader. I love her, like, the personalities that she creates. I love the stories that she creates. And I love that they end up well. You know, this is the thing I needed. I needed instruction. I needed something still well written. So not something like very crazy, trash, bad. And I needed something that ends really well and it has a happy ending, because I could not handle something very dramatic at that moment. And still, I'm not into reading very dramatic books. And what's really interesting, I absolutely love period dramas and I love wartime dramas and books. But this year, obviously, I was not like emotionally able to read those books because they bring so close to home that I ended up like moving them away and I stashing them for the better moment in my life. But these books actually like took me on a journey. They're really well written, they're really beautiful, the stories are amazing. You feel like you have a connection to the characters that are created in those books. And she has a book that actually was released, I feel like in October, and this is a prequel to one of her series. Its name is It Starts With Us, and it's absolutely beautiful and I love it. So I definitely do recommend her to those of you who feel like they're kind of stuck in the rut of reading something very, very overtly serious. Definitely try this one out. Let me know in the comments below if you've heard of her, if you've read something of her things. I absolutely love her. I do recommend her. She's so cool. And I've read other women's romances, and this one stands out so much more because it's so well written and the characters are so like alive and complete. You feel so much connection to them that when the book ends and when you read the end, you feel like you've lost like a friend of yours, if it makes sense. I absolutely love this, so definitely do recommend her. And one other thing I recommend for people who are into fashion, and I feel like some people who are looking at this channel are definitely into fashion. There's a biography that was written by Amy Otto about Anna Wintour that I definitely recommend you, and it's very, very cool. And she was in very close touch with Anna Wintour, and Anna Wintour is such a mysterious personality in terms of fashion and overall, so I feel like each and every account of someone having a conversation with her and of her life is very, very interesting because she's such a powerful person in the fashion world. So I definitely recommend her as well. And the next thing we'll talk about is series, and I would not be able to finish this video without talking about The White Lotus. This is such a discovery. This is such a cool show. I've seen people mentioning White Lotus a lot of times before, and I didn't pay much attention because the trailer for this series is so misleading. It feels like it's like a vacation, romantic comedy, whatever, and I was definitely not into it. And I ended up selecting it like a month ago to watch the first season, and now the second season came out, and the last episode of second season actually came out today, and I watched it already, and it's just so amazing. Basically, this is a satire. This is a dark satire. Both of these seasons are set in a vacation place. So the first one is in Maui, the second one is in Taormina, Italy, Sicily. And it's about different people coming together to have a vacation, but those are like rich, kind of crazy, kind of like weird people, but also like everyday people with their struggles, with their fantasies, with their problems, married couples, single people, people looking for something, etc., etc. So it's just so interesting and a bit crazy when you watch it. It's so psychological and it's so cool. It has some comedy to it, but not a lot. It has a lot of satire. It has a lot of like very cool settings as well, and beautiful cinematography, and the script and the dialogues are just brilliant. So I absolutely recommend it to you, and let me know in the comments below if you watched it, if you've liked it. Let me know in the comments below if you're willing to watch it, because it's just, I'm so excited about it. I'm so jealous of people who have not watched it yet, because it's just so unique and so cool. So this is my favorite of the year for sure. And the last thing I'll talk about is, as usual, I include this in each and every favorites of mine. This is a quote. And this year I've read a book by Viktor Frankl, A Man in Search of Meaning. This is a very powerful book. It was written by him. He's a psychologist, and he was in concentration camps during the World War II. He was Jewish and he survived. And this book basically is an account of his life in a concentration camp and the way people handled that life there for like 5 years, and the way people survived, and how some people survived and their ways to survive, etc., etc. So there are so many meaningful things in there in that book. So I definitely do recommend for you to try this one out and see how you feel, because it's very deep. It's not a very leisurely book, definitely. It's on the more serious side, but this one gives you strength and meaning, actual meaning to life. It feels like you kind of discover something to yourself. So the quote that saved me throughout this whole experience of reading this book is Nietzsche's quote that Viktor Frankl mentioned, and this one is, "He who has a why to live for can bear with almost any how." So basically, when you have a goal, when you feel like you know why you are living and why you keep going, you can bear with almost each and every hurdle that goes into your direction and you end up having in your life, because obviously each and every person would have hard times, but you only survive if you have this meaning, this like deeper, greater meaning or feeling of why you feel like this life is worth living. So this one resonated with me a lot, because I definitely reread this one in the second month of Russian war in Ukraine. So this was very like touching to me, and I've like repeated this quote to myself, and I thought about this a lot, and I feel like this one could maybe help a lot of people, or like thinking about the goal or why could help a lot of people at this point as well. Not only those who are going through war, but just each and every day of your life and going through hard times, because those will end up happening inevitably with everyone. So yeah, I think on this very deep note, this is it for this video. Let me know in the comments below which favorite was your favorite, and also maybe your personal favorites of this year. Maybe you have discovered something in fashion, your favorite book, your favorite TV series. Those are specifically some I would be very interested in, because I'm very into series. I love a lengthy story, and I feel like when you have a TV show, it gives you more time to actually develop like a character and get to know them more, etc., etc. So definitely give me your recommendations of cool, very cool comedy, not comedy TV shows that you liked. And yeah, this is it for this video. Let me know in the comments below what was your favorite, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!